Hello my dear students, this video is the second part of the chapter number 6 of class 11th history. Chapter number 6, that is the three orders. Students, you know, in the first video we discussed about the introduction of the chapter and the feudalism, what is feudalism, which was prevalent at that time in the European society, the system which was prevalent during the Middle Age. Now in the second part of the video, we will discuss about the three orders, the three categories of the society which was there in during the Middle Age in the European society. Three orders. Three orders means in the first order there was a priest, second order consists of nobility, and the third order consists of the peasant. As I told you, first order consists of the priest. Priest means the first order is responsible for doing the clergy work, the work related to the praying to the god. The second order is responsible for the fighting. That's why they were the nobility. And the third order responsible for the cultivation and doing all other kind of the work to serve the first two orders. Okay, this is the main categorization of the European society, Western European society during the Middle Age. Now we discuss this in detail. First order, second order, and the third order. Okay, students, first we start from the second order. Second order consists of, as I told you, mainly the nobility. Okay, nobility, the nobles had the control over the land. They were given the land, granted the land by the king. And this system is known as the vassalage system. Very important. Okay, what I told you, second order consists of nobility. Nobility was the class who had owned a vast land. They had a control over a vast land which was granted to them by the king. And this system is known as the vassalage system. What is vassalage system? Vassalage system is the system in which one who get the land from the superior lord, means the one person got the land from the one who is superior from them, like the nobility got the land from the king and the peasant got the land from the nobility. Okay, so there was the vassalage system between the king and the nobility, between the nobility and the peasant. So the superior one who granted the land to the lower one, the superior one is known as the lord or the seigneur. Okay, the superior one who give the land to the lower one is known as the lord or the seigneur in the Western European society, and the one who got the land known as the vassal. Okay, that's why the system is known as the vassalage system. So here the king is the lord and nobility is the vassal of the king. In a similar way, in this system, nobles were the lord and peasants were the vassal of the under the noble. Hope you understood what is vassalage system. Okay, now we move further. This nobility, they had the absolute control over its property. Which property? Over the land granted to them through the vassalage system by the king. On that land, they had the absolute control. The nobles had the absolute control without the interference of the king or any other person. They had their own troops. Troops mean army, soldiers. They raised their own soldiers which were known in the European society by the name of the feudal levies. Feudal levies. Who were feudal levies? Feud. As I told you, feud is the term, Germanic term which means land, and feudal means a landlord. And levy means troops, the troops which belong to the landlord, the troops which belong to the nobility. So the troops belong to the soldiers, the army belong to the nobility, known as the feudal levies. Okay, they had the absolute control over the land, have their own troops, held their own court of justice also. These nobility, they had their own money system, transaction system, they made their own coins. And the place where they lived, the palace where these nobles lived, were known by the name of, their houses were called manors. what they called manors. Okay, and the area means their house, manor, as well as the land owned by them, the whole area known as the manorial estate. Beta, in this chapter, this terminology is important. Once you had a grip on this terminology, it will be easier for you to understand the chapter. Only the terminology is there, otherwise the chapter is very much easy. Okay, so the houses are known as the manor, and the estate means the house as well as the land owned by the nobles, known as the manorial estate. Okay. Now what and the manorial estate, the land which these nobles held, had all the things which they required for their life. Means these manorial estates were like the small kingdom of these nobles. It consists of the carpenter, blacksmith, oil presser, wine presser, as well as their own church and other things of requirement. Means the women spin the cloth, fabric, cloth making, all the activities which are essential for the livelihood are there within the state, within this manorial estate. It was like the small kingdom, or like the kingdom of the nobles. What happened in the 9th century? During the 9th century, the localized war, the war between the nobility started so much. There was a lot of localized war in Europe, and peasant, as I told you, these nobles control a large amount of the land, a large area of the land. Some land was their private land, and some land they give to the peasant to did their cultivation. These peasants who got the land from the nobility, these peasants were the vassals, as I told you, of the nobles, and they work on their own land as well as on the land of the nobles as a service provided in return of the land granted to them by the nobles. Okay, now students, come here. There was, as I told you, a localized war. What earlier these nobles do not had a well-trained army with them. These troops, as I told you, which these nobles had, they were the peasant who work on their land, and they also work as the soldier, as a foot soldier, as an infantry during the time of the localized war. But when the wars increased, the number of wars increased, localized war increased in Europe, then what these nobles started, they started to have the trained soldier. They need a well trained cavalry. That's why a new section emerged at that time known as the Knight, K-N-I-G-H-T, Knights. Okay, these knights, these soldiers, this is a new section which emerged, and these soldiers, these knights also got the land from the nobility, and the land which they got known as the fief, F-I-E-F, fief. So what is fief? Fief was the land granted to the knight by the nobles. Now what these knights did, they in their daily routine, their only work is to do the practice of fighting. They did the practice with the dummies and all these things, and on their land which was granted to these knights by the nobles, the peasant work and give them the production and keep some production with themselves as their service charge. In the 13th century, the castles, the area of these nobles became larger. Why? Because they also started to resident the knights' family in their castle. That's why we see that in Europe during the 13th century, the sizes of the castles started becoming larger. So students, this is all about the second order, that is nobility. So what you studied, you studied nobility, vassalage system, regarding the nobility, manor, manorial estate, okay. And the new section emerged, that was the knight, and the land granted to them known as the fief. Now one more thing, in France during the 12th century, the minstrel, Mystery was a group. They were students like the people who did the work of entertaining the others. Like nowadays, also there are stage shows and other things in which, like the during the time of the that Diwali, the Ramayan act is performed on the stage. So the person who entertained the others through the stories or through the act, at that time, they in the 12th century in France, they were known by the name of the minstrel. What these minstrel did, these were the group, they traveled from one manor to another. Manor means the houses of the nobles. They keep on moving from one manor to another. And what they did, and they keep on entertaining the nobles by their stories. They had the stories of the nobles. Means some stories were the true, means partially some stories were the true, and some were the fake stories, for just for entertaining the people. These stories consist of the bravery stories of the nobles and others, through which they entertained the people. So the nobles, these nobles in their manner had the balcony like section where they sit and look these minstrel performing all their acts, and that was their place of pleasure or the entertainment where these nobles get their entertainment. Okay, so student, this is all about the second order. Now move to the first order. As I told you, first order consists of the priest, the clergy class. So the Catholic Church had its own laws. The main church in among the Christianity was the Catholic Church. It has the means the ancient church. सबसे पुराना Christianity जो है वो Catholic मानी जाती है, and it has its own laws. Like they had their own land. The church had its own land, and they were also having the land which these churches had. They get those land from various kings. That's why, because of the land, and they also got the right to collect the revenue, to collect the tax from the people. As students, you studied in class 9 French Revolution, in the first chapter French Revolution, the tax in the France, the tax collected by the church, which was known by the name of tithe. Tithe was the 1/10 of the cultivation which was given by the peasant to the church. So these churches having the right to levy the tax on the peasantry. That's why, because of all these things, because they own, the churches own their land, they had the right to levy the taxation, they collect the taxation. The church became very much powerful, even more powerful than the king. So the churches act independent of the king. And students, you know, the division of the European society into these 3 orders was also done by the church. Okay, very powerful institution which was independent of the king. So now study regarding the church. In the church, the highest person, the highest position was occupied by the Pope. Pope is at the highest position. Pope is one of all the Christianity all over the world. Okay, and this the Pope lived in Rome. Okay, below the popes are the bishops. Bishops are like the religious nobles. They were like the nobles among the priestly class. Why they were like a nobles? Because they had their own private land, their own castles also, where they live a lavishing life. That's why these bishops were known as the religious nobles. So at the highest position is the Pope, then come up the bishop, then the clergy, and lowest were the priests. Okay, this is the order. This is the first order people. Now move further. There is also a class apart from these priestly class which were known as the monks. They were also the religious people. They were deeply religious people who preferred to live in isolation. Isolation means these priestly class live means with the people, among the people, but these people live in isolation in a monastery. Monastery life, they did not did the marriage in their life, and they lived the life only what they did in their whole life, only did the work of the means praying to the God and the physical labor which is essential for their livelihood, to earn their livelihood. Okay, so monks were there, and as you know beta, the pope or the priest, all the persons cannot become the priest or the pope or bishops. This means clergy, the clergy position cannot be occupied by all the person. Women were not allowed to occupy this position. Serfs were also not allowed. Who were serfs? Serfs were the bonded laborers. And physically challenged people were also not allowed to become the bishop or the clergy or the priest. But monks, any person can become the monk. Even the women can also become, and women were known by the name of the nuns, and the men were called the monks. And what happened during the 13th century? A new group emerged within among them. These monks or the nun, they live in the monastery, and they did their praying and all the things there in the monastery, and for earning their livelihood they also did some physical labor over there. But the new class which emerged during the 13th century, what they did, they were like the monks only. They did not marry in their life, and they were the deeply religious people. But what's the difference? They don't live in the monastery. They keep on moving from one place to another, teaching the people regarding the religion. Okay, and these people were known by the name of the friars. Okay, monks, nuns, friars. Here is the pope. Pope is one. Okay, remember, below the pope is the bishop, clergy, and the priest. Okay, this is all about the first order. So now we studied second order, first order. Now come up to the third order. Third order students consist of the peasant class, and they were in majority in the European society. These two orders, you know, you have studied also in 9th standard that first two orders, that were is the clergy as well as the nobility, they were in minority, and the third order, which consists of the peasantry class, they were in majority. And they were the one who sustained first two order. Means on the third order, the first two orders sustained their life, because the third order, that is the peasant, were the one who worked for the first order people as well as for the second order people. And now students, in the third order, as I told you, peasants were there, but they were also categorized into two. They were of two types. One is the free peasant, and second one are the serfs. Free peasants were the one who had the land granted to them from the nobles. Okay, and they work on that land as a tenant, and that land which is granted to them from the noble belong to now the land belong to the peasants only. And in return of that land, they have to provide the noble 40-year military service in a year. 40-year military service in a year, and within a week they have to work on the land of the noble for 3 days or somewhat more, sometime more than the 3 days. They have to work on the land of the noble. This is only the charge which they have to give to the noble in return of the land which they get from the nobles. And they were free to do whatever they want to do in their life. They also have to give the tax to the noble, which was known as tithe. The tax given to nobles known as the tithe, and the tax given to church known as the tithe. Two type of taxes. This you studied in class 9, French Revolution. Okay. So this is all about free peasant. Now come to the second category, that is the serfs. As I told you, they were not the free peasant, they were the bounded labor. They don't have their own land, they work on the land of the nobility. And they do not have any freedom. Even they don't have the freedom to marry to anyone. If they want to marry to anyone, then they have to convince the nobility. And how the nobles get convinced? They ask for some money in return of giving the permission to them. As I told you, these serfs work on the land of the nobles. In return, they don't get any rent, any money from them. And they could not even leave the estate, manorial estate of the noble without the permission of the noble. And for their livelihood, for all the things, for their food and other things, they only just totally depend on the manorial estate on the nobles. So student, this is all about the first three order. Hope you understood. Thank you.